It's so easy to think life couldn't get any better, and what you have now is all you could ever hope for. It's so easy to think that asking for more is asking for a little too much. Not unless you live at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. More room to breathe, the kind of life you wish to lead at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. More room to breathe, more of what your family needs. There's more to live for at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. More room to breathe, the kind of life you wish to lead at Ahoya. There's more to live for at Ahoya. There's more to live for.
We dream of a better life. A life by the sea. Welcome to Seafront Residences, AboitizLand's peaceful beach village in beautiful San Juan, Batangas. At just 125 kilometers away from the city, your weekly vacations are finally within reach. As you step into Seafront Residences' peaceful beach village, you will be greeted by thoughtfully designed areas characterized by diamond-shaped parks and innovation by AboitizLand. These unique shared spaces are lined with beautiful bougie royal homes inspired by local Filipino architecture. Built using materials fashioned to age gracefully, these homes are works of art that are meant to be passed down for generations. Each designer home is thoughtfully structured to nurture your family, making it a comfortable and enjoyable space in times that you dream of escape. Take in a breath of fresh air for you and your family. Beyond gorgeous seaside homes are amenities that provide you and your family with an abundance of activities that foster values of friendship and camaraderie within your community. Indulge in the good life. Float along tranquility and immerse yourself in the beauty of the sea. Dive into happiness and emerge anew. Refresh yourself for a new day, week, and month ahead. Unveil the life you've always dreamed of. Here at Seafront Residences, where life is better by the sea.
From AboitizLand, Cebu's most trusted property developer and the real estate arm of the Aboitiz Group of Companies, one of the country's oldest and best managed conglomerates, comes a place that's shaping up to be the South's next big thing, where your family can take root and flourish. There is a place where you can make your hard-earned money work even harder. A place that protects and grows your investments. There is a place that takes the idea of work-life balance seriously. A place that's well-positioned for business growth, making it an opportunity right for the picking. A place only an hour and a half's drive from Makati, strategically located in the heart of the Calabarzon region in Lipa, Malvar, Batangas, the new wave cities for growth. And easily accessible via the South Luzon Expressway and Star Tollway. This place is set at the heart of Lima, AboitizLand's new industry city. Home to some of the world's leading manufacturing companies and the best companies to work for. A place that's right at the doorstep of the outlets, the country's biggest outlet shopping destination, home to some of your favorite brands, restaurants, and 2 sprawling football fields. A place that provides next-door access to all that you need, so you'll never have to miss anything ever again. And that place is right here, right now. The Villages at Lipa. A prime residential enclave featuring 3 safe and secure villages. The Villages at Lipa features house designs inspired by classic Filipino architecture. Stately, graceful, timeless. Each village is appointed with all the amenities and creature comforts that you deserve. Finally, you can now have a piece of the next big thing. A place for everything and everything in its place. The Villages at Lipa.
At last, a place where home means more than just a roof over your head. Where a tweet means more than letters on the screen. Where a tag means more than just names on a picture. And a share means more because it's done face to face. At last, a place where there is truly more. Introducing Amoa. Just an hour away from Cebu's Central Business District, Amoa is a 60-hectare residential community. Cradled in the beautiful hills and vistas of Tamiao, Compostela. At Amoa, there is more to discover. With a collection of villages forming smaller neighborhoods with unbounded spaces, where your children can grow up free to run around, explore nature, make friends, and appreciate a life lived in harmony with the places and people around them. At Amoa, there is more to enjoy. With master-planned and life-scale amenities, 3 swimming pools, a clubhouse, basketball court, grand lawn, play area, and many pocket parks. Living areas that foster a strong sense of community. Where your children can experience childhood as it should be, full of friendships and interactions. Beyond small spaces and virtual screens. At Amoa, there is more to love. With house designs inspired by traditional Filipino residences, fused with modern minimalist styles. Choose from one-story houses that's perfect for your family, like Aruna and Ananda. For more space, go for our two-story houses, such as Asta, Asha, and Amita. And enjoy breezy, cozy afternoons in the comfort of your own spacious porch. At last, come home to a home you can truly call your own, where there's more to discover, enjoy, and love. Come home to Amoa, where life means more. Amoa is another quality development by AboitizLand.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing this beautiful Wednesday? I hope wherever it is that you are watching us from, you are all well, you are safe, and you are healthy. An absolute pleasure and honor being with all of you this afternoon. I'm your host. My name is Jelly Victor, and welcome to another episode of AboitizLand Webcasts, brought to us by AboitizLand in partnership with Lamudi. Now, we promise you another hour of learning, so find a comfy spot and ready your notes. Just like me here, I've got my notes ready because this afternoon will be a very informative one. Now, while you are here, hit the like button if you haven't yet, okay? It is at AboitizLand.inc. Wherever it is that you're watching this from, just click that like button and you are good to go. Again, that's at AboitizLand.inc. And do share this broadcast with your friends and family because you never know, you just might have friends and family members who will be interested, who will be picking up on a lot of the learnings that we'll be sharing today, and basically somebody you can have great conversations with. Okay, so please do share this broadcast. Whether you are here to expand your knowledge or your portfolio, you are most welcome to throw in your questions, okay? We would appreciate to get those questions from you. Let's make use of the comment section and make our discussion more dynamic. So go ahead, express your impressions and queries. We will be more than happy to discuss it with our guests a little bit later on. Now, in these times of uncertainty and doubt, the best thing to do is to arm ourselves with knowledge so we conquer the fear of the unknown and navigate the new world with more confidence. So use the extra time in your hands to enrich yourselves, update your knowledge and skills. This is the very aim of AboitizLand, to provide learning to everyone to adapt better to this pandemic. A wealth of knowledge has already been provided in past episodes. And today, we are giving you even more as we deep dive into the latest shifts in the real estate market from no less than the country's top industry leaders. This afternoon, we've got the best of the best for you. Share away this broadcast to your colleagues, friends, and family members whom you think will find today's discussion quite useful. So, let's get down to it, shall we? Our keynote speaker today is going to discuss in depth the trends in properties during the past months. What buyers and property finders are looking for. What do they prioritize now in this time? These are just some of the data that he will share with us. Very useful if you are looking to diversify your portfolio, but are unsure about the current consumer behavior. We'll get right into it. I will not keep you waiting out any longer. Our first speaker is a real estate veteran with 10 years of experience in the United States, Australia, and the Philippines. Prior to joining Lamudi, he was the country manager of Remax Philippines. He helped the company grow to be the largest real estate franchise by number of offices, agents, and transaction volume. He holds a master's degree in international business from Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia, and a bachelor's degree in business administration from Boston University, United States of America. He was previously Bloomberg's and Business World Live's property expert on One News. So when he pops out, you'll know that's a familiar face to me. Yes, let us all give a virtual welcome for Lamudi CEO, Mr. Kenneth Stern.
Firstly, thank you so much, AboitizLand, for having me today. We've got a lot of knowledge and data we want to share with you. It's been a very volatile time in the world, especially in economic markets. So we wanted to shed some light and some insight for you, specifically on properties and how the sector has been doing over the last few months to help you in your selling and buying process. So Lamudi is firstly the go-to place to finding your dream properties online. What we are is a connector. So we help people connect with each other. So property sellers and property seekers, our job is to help you find the demand or find a supply, no matter what part of the sales cycle you're part of. Our mission and vision at Lamudi is to be the Philippines' real estate partner by creating transparency, building trust, and promoting professionalism in the buying and selling experience. We achieve our goals by helping others find their dream property online. It's our goal to help everyone find their properties, the right property for yourself, and we help you do that by finding it online. So this is Lamudi's journey over the last few years. We were launched in 2014 in the Philippines. We quickly acquired My Property in 2015. We were founded originally by Rocket Internet. They also started companies like Lazada, Zalora, Carmudi, and the likes. And most recently, we were acquired by EMPG in 2020. And this is a great milestone for us as they bring a lot of knowledge and resource. They're one of the largest global players in emerging markets, in real estate particularly. So we're very excited to scale our business and grow with the EMPG family. So just some fast facts about what Lamudi does and who actually goes onto Lamudi. So in terms of page views, we get about 6.5 million page views a month, and that was by mid-2019. Fast forward to mid-2020, we're doing about 7.5 million page views a month. In terms of leads and inquiries, about 140,000 leads come in a month in 2019, and today about 173,000 leads come in a month. So you can see that despite economic volatility across the globe, real estate trends have stayed actually fairly upward trending in terms of number of page views and leads to show that the market is still being looked at very much so as a great place to invest. So we have upgraded our website recently, and we wanted to share with you some of those upgrades, especially since we've got more page views and more traffic than ever before. Some of those upgrades have been neighborhood ratings. So if you're familiar with Zillow or companies like that in the US or abroad, we thought it was very important for property seekers to know exactly what type of neighborhood they're investing in. So we've taken user reports, data trends, and incorporate all that into neighborhood ratings. So you can actually see how the ratings compare to users or how the users compare different neighborhoods to each other. We've also included landmarks. So if you're searching for properties near a certain mall or properties near a certain hospital or school, you can find the properties that way as well. We've also increased our search filter, so you can not find every single property in the Philippines, but you find the right property in the Philippines. So we've narrowed down the searching even further to help you find that exact property you're looking for. And lastly, another milestone for us is price trends. So you can actually look through each of the cities and see how the prices has gone up historically over time. So starting from our inception in 2014 all the way up to today, you can see how the trends have moved up and down throughout the different neighborhoods and asset classes in the Philippines. So very exciting stuff. We think that data and transparency is key in making decisions. Without data and transparency, you're making uninformed decisions. So it's very important that you get as much knowledge as possible before you pick your dream property. For our account holders, we've also introduced team accounts. So we've realized that the property market in the Philippines is maturing. More people are becoming professional. More people are setting up corporations within the real estate industry as it's a growing industry. So we've partnered with them to create team accounts, which essentially manages your back end customer, the CRM, like your brokerage or like your office. So you can share a subscription with multiple users. You can create account hierarchies. You can distribute leads. You can use your Salesforce to mirror the accounts that you have on our back end AP. You can assign listing ownership. So you can choose whether it's a contract holder or your own listing itself. And lastly, you can do the account management on there as well. So you can assign listings to different team members. So we've basically made it like your own personal office CRM within our platform. We've also implemented some key partnerships for our lead management tools. So we've partnered with WhatsApp to allow brokers to link their accounts with Lamudi to WhatsApp communications to make ease of communication between property sellers and property buyers even faster. So all you've got to do is download the app and instantly you'll be able to chat with your property sellers and buyers all on WhatsApp. And we also have a library now from Lamudi Academy called Learning Center, where you can go and see from hundreds of hours of videos from training on sales, marketing, technology, market trends. Everything's on there. It's a full library from the Academy that you can see on the back end of the site, and expand your knowledge about the real estate market and sales and marketing. We also have auto subscriptions for new accounts. So we've partnered with Dragon Pay for this one. And you can use a number of different banking channels, such as BPI, Metro Bank, Land Bank, and Robinsons Bank, and many, many more. And with this, it'll make renewals and also auto subscriptions even easier. So we wanted to make the process digital for everyone. No more PDCs. You can now do it completely online, so that there's less human contact, and that it's usable much faster than before. Another new feature that we're excited to roll out is called Selly. So we've built a CRM specifically for developers in the Philippines. This tool will help developers manage their sales teams effectively and efficiently by managing the pipeline from start to finish. The whole sales cycle can be monitored through the CRM, which we're offering to developers now. You can report on these dashboards, you can monitor, you can track and manage everyone on your sales team and how things are going. And most beneficial is it's a centralized database. So if you have multiple sales networks, different provinces, everything is now centralized and automatically assigned to make digitalization even easier for the property developers. So that's called Selly, and we're offering this now to the market as well. And then we also have Lamudi Academy. So this would be the last thing I'm talking about before we go into some of the trends in the market. So Lamudi Academy is our very own in-house academy where we've got professional trainers and lecturers. We've partnered with many brokerages and real estate experts for our content, but we've completely gone digital now. So you can do the whole academy online. It does everything from marketing strategies, branding. Many people are doing Metaports now, which is our video virtual walkthroughs. So we actually teach you how to do the virtual walkthroughs through a house. Everything you need to be more in line with how the market is more digital now than ever before. So we wanted to help our property seekers out and also our brokers out as well to become in touch with the latest trends in technology and marketing. So everything is now online through our academy. You can just sign up for it. It comes actually free with a subscription, and you can learn one-on-one or with groups with our trainers completely online through our academy. So very exciting stuff for the market. So getting to know the seeker. So we wanted to talk a little bit about real estate. I think this is very relevant for everyone here today, and who the actual property seekers are. So if you're trying to sell real estate, or if you actually own real estate and you want to sell it, who are the people looking for real estate right now? And that's what I'm going to kind of get into now. So what do property seekers want? From our data, before I go into the actual numbers, I want to make sure everyone understands where this data is coming from. So we pulled data from the page views and the inquiries that we get onto the website. So this is probably the most accurate data you can find in the market because it's directly from the property seekers themselves. We don't have consultants. We're not asking for surveys. This is actually directly from the seekers themselves. It's what they click on. It's what they're looking at. It's what's interesting for them. So based on that information, we've come up with some trends and some forecasts based on what people are actually looking at today. So with that, what do people want in the Philippines? Well, about 34% of property seekers in the Philippines want a house. That's what they're looking at right now. About 20% want a condo, and about 19% want land. In terms of apartments, we segregated this a little bit different than condos. Apartments being your smaller rise, individually owned buildings, also including your shared spaces. So companies like My Town and bed sharing spaces are included in the apartment segment. We also have commercial properties. About 6.5% of the market wants commercial, and about 3.15 want foreclosed property. So your riskier investors who want to buy a good deal would go into the foreclosure market. And that was as of Q3 2020. In terms of what they want, whether they want to buy or rent, fairly even mix between what people are looking to get into as an investment. So about 54% of the people are looking to buy a property right now, and about 46% of the people want to rent a property right now. So that's not the transactional amount, that's what people are interested in. So people could be looking for rent and then eventually buying, or people could look to buy and eventually rent. But in terms of initial search, what their interest is, more people want to buy now, which is actually interesting because people think there's a bubble, there's a slowdown in the market, but the reality is people are looking to buy right now. And what do they want to buy? So let's look at some of the price points. So about 16% are looking at prices between 450,000 pesos to about 1.5 million. That's your affordable market. So a fairly decent amount of people is looking in the affordable market, but more people are looking at your low, mid, or even high affordable market. That's 1.5 to 3 million pesos. It's sort of the sweet spot right now for properties, so that you can find low-income horizontal, or you can find studio units or small 2 bedrooms in that price range, depending on the developers. But about 1.5 million to 3 is the most looked after. And of course, people are looking at your high end, your luxury. So 20 million plus pesos. About 14% of our market is looking at the high end properties. In terms of rent, a little bit different story here. So about 10% of the people are looking at 5,000 pesos or less per month. Most people are looking between 5,000 and 15,000 pesos a month for rent. And then you got your sort of your mid or low high, about 15 to 30,000 pesos a month, about 30% of the market looking there. And where are they looking from? So we track people in terms of location. So this is where they're searching from and potentially looking to move. So Quezon City historically has always been the most traffic, because it is primarily the most residential area of the Philippines. About 60% of Metro Manila resides in Quezon City. So 40% of our searches come from Quezon City, about 11% from Makati, and surprisingly 8% from Cebu. So fairly strong market in Cebu compared to Metro Manila as well. And this is as of Q3 2020, of course. So what do property seekers in Metro Manila and the provinces want? So like I said before, housing is still a priority for many people, especially in the provinces as well. So 38% of people in the provinces are looking for houses to buy or rent. In the condo market, about 6% are looking in the provinces, and in Metro Manila, about 31% in the condo market. But I think very interesting, provinces, 33% want land. So very high amount of interest in just land, raw land itself, coming for the provinces. I think people looking for potential opportunities there to earn through capital appreciation, through new infrastructure being built, new developers coming in. You buy raw land and all of a sudden a highway or a school is built, that land appreciates very quickly. So people looking for those opportunities, especially in the provinces. And what do property seekers in Metro Manila and the provinces want? So in Metro Manila, it's slightly skewed towards rent. So about 57% of the people in Manila are looking to rent versus buy. But in the provinces, completely different story. About 70% of the people in the provinces would rather buy than rent, and only about 30% of the people in the provinces are actually renting. And in terms of demand, there are some interesting trends that we've seen throughout this last year. So I'll go in through some of those demand trends now. So these are people actually looking to inquire and buy properties. So first we look at demographics and the people themselves. So the age group is one of the first things you want to look at. And what it shows here is that the millennial seekers are the most active right now on digital real estate searches. That probably being because due to the pandemic, most millennials who are historically impulse buyers can't impulse buy anymore. They can't go on vacations. They can't spend on luxury anymore. So what are they going to do? They're probably going to spend on real estate, something more stable. They probably reanalyzed their long-term spending plans and now taking a look at real estate as a viable option. So about 34% of our seekers are between 25 and 34. So big jumps from previous years. But I think that's probably due to pandemic, people reevaluating how they want to spend their money and now looking at real estate as an option for themselves. And even more surprising, which I never thought we would see, about 21% are coming from 18 to 24-year-olds. So these are sort of your Gen Zs, your fresh graduates from college, already thinking about real estate now, looking to move out of the house either for rent or potentially becoming real estate investors at an early age. So very young people are now looking at real estate as a exciting industry to be a part of. In terms of what they want in Luzon, so 44% want houses. So that's the biggest demand right now in terms of property seekers in Luzon, followed by condos and lands shortly behind there. In terms of Luzon, similar story. So buying 69% and renting 31% only. So if we look exactly at the price points, so 1.5 to 3 million pesos, Luzon, very similar to what we saw as a nationwide approach, that being the sweet spot there. Still a fair number of people between 450 and 1.5 million in the affordable market, and about 15% looking between 3 and 4.5 million, but less people looking at the luxury premium market there. In terms of rent, the sweet spot is 15 to 30K. About 30% of Luzon demand is coming into that asset class there. So if you got a rental property kind of within that range, you'll find that that's the most demand at this point. In Batangas, 18 to 24-year-olds comprise of 30%, and 25 to 34-year-olds comprise of almost 70% of our searches. So millennials leading the way once again in Batangas area. We also look at international searches. So 50% of the searches come from the Philippines for Batangas, but interestingly enough, a large amount of searches are coming from abroad. So 25% of our searches are coming from the US, 4% from Canada, and then about 6% combined from UAE and Australia. So very interesting numbers here, because Batangas being a provincial area, still generating a lot of overseas interest from investors. And what are those property searches like in terms of asset classes? So about 48% of that is coming to the housing market, and very, very small amount, only 4% to condos, but 40% in land. So similar story to what we saw in the provinces. Very aligned with Batangas here. 40% of the seekers want land for sale in that area. And in terms of how this breaks down into rent or buy, very, very strong number here, almost 90% on the buying side. Very, very little people are looking to rent right now. I think the investment opportunity is very strong. People are seeing the deals happen right now. So very, very aggressive in terms of searching on the buying side. And the price point, fairly interesting here that they're actually looking at more high-end properties, so 20 million plus. So they want probably vacation properties. They want places to get out of the city. So they're looking at something a bit more luxurious, a bit more high-end, potentially moving more permanently. So maybe an end-use property as well. That people tend to spend more on their primary home as well. So either vacation or primary home, 20 million plus, leading the way in terms of properties for buying. In Pampanga, so we're now looking at the north area. So 25 to 34-year-olds, roughly 63% of the page views. So millennials almost in every single category leading the way in property searches. So very, very aggressive right now in that age group, looking to buy properties or invest in properties right now, or look for a different situation, even for renting. In Pampanga, 60% are looking at houses, 11% in apartments, and 20% looking for land. So as you kind of go into these provincial areas, horizontal, very much more attractive, house and lots, more space at a more affordable price, typically going to be the better searches or better investments. In terms of the breakdown, about 76% on the buying side and about 24% on the renting side. Most of that's going into the affordable market. So 450 to 1.5 million pesos is the most looked after for the buying side in terms of price point. And now we go into Cebu. So one of the top emerging cities in the Philippines, arguably not even emerging anymore, arguably an actual CBD. So Cebu leading the way with 48% going to millennials, so 25 to 34-year-olds, and also a very high number of searches going to the foreign market. So many people abroad know of Cebu, the beaches, the economy there is thriving. Tough lockdown this year for Cebu in particular, but still hasn't slowed down in terms of interest. So roughly 20% of the market coming from abroad for Cebu searches. In Cebu, about 43% want houses, about 18% want condos, and about 18% want land. So fairly even mix in condos and land. Still the majority looking for house and lots, horizontal space in Cebu. And then in terms of the seekers, they are looking at roughly 64% for buying and 36% for renting. So still majority on the buying side, that price point being 450,000 to 1.5 million, most of the increase coming from there. Overseas demand, so very interesting to look at overseas demand, especially when looking at the property market. OFW is typically spending most of the remittances on real estate. About 50% of remittances is historically spent on real estate. So most of that is actually going towards houses. So 40% are interested in houses, and about 30% are looking at land. Still a fairly strong showing from condos, about 17% in Q3. So I wouldn't rule that out. But overseas demand still very, very relevant in today's topic, especially as markets abroad are looking more volatile than the Philippines in terms of real estate investment. What do people want to do when they're coming from abroad? Not surprising here, they want to buy. So investment, about 80% in real estate on the buying side and only 20% on the rental side. Still, affordable market is the most looked at after. So this is your OFW market coming from abroad, looking to invest back in the Philippines. Fairly even all the way through though. So 1.5 to 3 million and 3 million to 4 million. So anywhere between 450 to about 5 million, basically you're gonna get about the same amount of demand. So all fairly strong in that price point. Who's looking from overseas? So let's break it down into the locations. No surprise that our neighbors in Singapore are taking a strong interest in the Philippines. So about 10% of the interest coming from Singapore, followed by Dubai, Australia, and Doha and Ajman. So fairly strong mix between Asia and the Middle East, of course, and then we always have our US and North American and UK interest as well. And amenities, of course. So what do people want in a condo or a village? So some of the non-negotiables we've seen interesting trends on. So pandemic has hit, more people spending time at home. These have become more relevant in searches more than ever before. So 27% of the people required that there'd be a work from home essential. So Wi-Fi, air conditioning, study room, entertainment room, ready to go as soon as they move in. Slowly moving down in terms of demand as we enter Q3, things loosening up maybe, but still, very strong requirement in terms of work from home essentials. In terms of wellness, very similar story here. Gym, fitness centers, swimming pools, basketball courts within the community that you're staying in, very important for about 20% of the buyers today. Balcony and terrace. So if you're in a condo and you can't get out, maybe the condo's on lockdown, 7% of the people require that now when they want to buy a property within a condo. Balcony or a terrace option is a requirement. And outdoor space, of course, 3% there, fairly stable, but something that we've never really seen before in terms, or actually monitored before. Green space, open parks are very important now for most buyers for real estate purposes and investment. And now let's quickly look at the supply of real estate. So where are the listings coming from? So in terms of Q2 to Q3, we saw an increase of listings. So 21% in Q2 and 17% in Q3. So showing liquidity in the market, showing more options available, possibly shifting from a seller's market to a buyer's market now with more supply coming in. So that could be an opportunity to find good deals for motivated sellers. So more people uploading properties, which means more supply available, which means more negotiation room for pricing. In terms of listings in Luzon, so for sale, about 80%, and for rent, only about 16%. That's up 19% in Q2 and 20% in Q3. In terms of rental, we saw 31% in Q2 and 53% increase in Q3. So overall, more properties for sale and for rent in Luzon coming online. In terms of listings in Luzon, the price points, so 20 million and above, about 20%. in Q1, that going to about 31% in Q3. So an increase there. Very, very similar price points there. Numbers there for the 9 to 12 million and 12 to 20 million. So roughly 30% all the way through, but still increases, which is what is important, that there's more supply coming online on the buying side and on the renting side. In Batangas, also more listings coming available, so 27% increase on the selling side and 23% increase of listings on the selling side from Q1 to Q2 and Q1 to Q3. So overall, fairly steady increases of about 25% all the way throughout this whole year. So market still doing well, supply becoming available, people looking to liquidate, lots of transactions happening right now all the way through Manila to Batangas. In terms of listings in Batangas, the price points, so 1.5 to 3 million, 18%, and in Q3, 4.5 to 6 million, about 51%. So that increase was big on that price point there, from 4.5 to 6 million, about 51% of the number of listings coming from that particular price point. And in Pampanga, we saw 87% of the listings for sale in Q1, increased that to about 56% in Q3 versus Q1. So more listings coming into Pampanga as well. And in terms of price point, Q3 saw 12 to 20 million, saw an increase of 157% of listings from 12 to 20 million. So your mid-high range saw more listings this quarter than throughout the whole year. And in Cebu, 62% of our listings are for sale, 37% for rent. Go to Q3, 15% increase from Q1. So as with almost every city we've looked at, increases across the board in supply. Price point, 26% coming in the high-end range, so 20 million above in Q3. Still a fairly strong showing at the 450, so your affordable market as well. So from affordable all the way to high-end, fairly strong number of about 25% increase in listings on both categories. And in terms of AboitizLand, so we did a quick analysis on the market for this developer. And what we saw was that Aboitiz offers house, lots, and condominiums. So almost every asset class you want to buy, they offer a potential investment for you. For the for sale properties, a very versatile choice for residential purposes. So whether you're looking for those amenities, whether you're looking for those locations that are going to be easily help you with transit in key locations, get the overseas demand. We saw that AboitizLand covered a very versatile choice in residential property supply. And in terms of the position in the market, very strong interest in residential property for ownership. So still a strong number of interest on AboitizLand developments on our new development page. High number of interest there, so very, very safe investment in terms of developer choice. So lots of numbers, lots of trends. I think some of the key ones that we wanted to point out was a shift for buying into the provinces. We saw strong performance for millennials throughout this whole year. So due to the lockdown, I think more people are looking to buy properties now for the first time because of the market. And also we saw, of course, a demand for amenities. Lockdown situation, obviously people are interested in health, well-being, green space. So almost a necessity for most investment now is having that amenity aspect to your property, whether it's a village or a condo. So very interesting trends that we've seen over the last few months. If anyone has any more questions about this or would actually like to get a trend report from us, please reach out to me, follow us on Facebook or send me an email. I'd be happy to give you more detailed information. Thank you.
Lamudi, dyan ka mag-search ng mga bahay, ma.
Basta gusto ko sa Quezon City.
Dad! Daddy, gusto kang swimming pool!
Gusto ko ng sarili kong kwarto, please!
Ikaw, Hana, ang gusto mo?
Umuwi ka lang. Hello, Han! Nandito na kami! Wow, ang ganda, honey!
Lamudi, Welcome home.
Properties with amenities that help improve the quality of life is indeed a most viable asset, a definite must to include in your portfolios. Thank you very much, Mr. Stern, for the very valuable presentation. Now, the past episodes we have actually been stating the trends in the industry. Now, you saw the hard facts to back these up. Just like Mr. Kenneth presented a while ago, what you saw was that a majority are the millennials. He stated that we are talking about the age group of 25 to 34. A majority are looking to buy rather than rent. You know, it was interesting because with every single area that he talked about, whether it was Luzon, Batangas, Pampanga, Cebu, overseas, I'm looking at my notes right here. It was more than 50% looking to buy. With a place like Batangas, 89% of the property seekers are seeking to buy. Very, very interesting, because during this time of the pandemic, that's actually the case. That's what's happening. So that is absolutely awesome. And do equip yourselves with those trend reports. The facts are already in your pocket. You can do whatever you wish with them. So indeed, there is a shift in interests and properties when it comes to buying property. I hope that you have benefited from Mr. Stern's presentation and have shared your impressions in the comment box. Let me see. Let me check it out right now. Everything that you've sent over. Okay, we will collate whatever questions you've sent in. If you have any queries, anything that you'd like Sir Kenneth to expound on, please do not hesitate to send it over to the comments box. That way we get to see it, okay? Now, I believe we have a few questions raised. Thank you very much for that. I have them here with me, and we are now ready to fire them away with our guests for a roundtable discussion. Let's welcome members of the panel. They are no less than the industry leaders. Of course, we have Mr. Kenneth Stern. Thank you again for that wonderful presentation. And joining him, our CEO and President of AboitizLand Incorporated, Mr. David Rafael, and the Assistant Vice President of Customer Management and Services of AboitizLand Incorporated and Head of Sales, Ms. Monica Trajano. Hello and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, this is going to be quite an interesting discussion we are going to have this afternoon, because we've already presented amazing facts thanks to Kenneth's presentation right there. Hello, Kenneth, Dave, and Monica.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi, David. Hi, Monica. Nice to meet you guys.
Hello, Kenneth. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us in our webinar or webcast for AboitizLand.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. And since I already brought up time, everyone has the presumption that with this pandemic, we've been made to slow down. This is the chance for all of us to slow down. I just wanted to know, during these past few months, 9 months to be exact, we've had extra time in our hands, supposedly. Now, I am curious, what have you been doing these past few months now? Can we start with you, Kenneth?
Yeah, hasn't really been too much of a slowdown for us here at Lamudi. Being in the digital space, a lot of people went to the internet for their searches, so that's where we come in. So working with partners like Aboitiz, we wanted to give them the most number of leads. But we were recently acquired by EMPG in May. So with an acquisition comes scaling. So we're currently rapidly growing our business, adding more features, adding more manpower. So it's been a very busy few months, and with the use of technology, I think free time has gone down to just a few seconds between meetings these days. So quite busy with meetings now that we're completely accessible all the time.
You know, that is so true. If traffic was a usual reason to be late for meetings, now that's no longer an excuse. Okay, thank you so much for that, Kenneth. What about for you, Sir David?
Hi, Jelly. First of all, before I answer that question, let me just first of all say we want to extend our appreciation to Lamudi for this very valuable partnership. It's really been very helpful, all the data and all the information we get from them has been extremely useful. Yes, ever since this pandemic started in March, it's been very, very hectic for us.
Wow.
Because the real estate business, the whole industry, I think one of the most disrupted industry by this pandemic is the real estate industry. So we basically had to adapt completely new ways of doing business, dealing with customers, trying to understand their new preferences. So it's really been very challenging, but at the same time, very fulfilling.
Okay.
Because we've learned a lot, and I think we've also benefited a lot.
Thank you for that, Sir David. What about for you, Miss Monica?
Yeah, hi Jelly. Yeah, as Dave said, AboitizLand has been very, very busy from day one since we had our lockdown. We had to meet right away, figure out how are we going to work through not being able to do business in the traditional manner as we have before. And with real estate, a lot of it had still been done traditionally, and we needed to figure out how do we adjust. And very busy, like you said, Ken said, barely any time between meetings right now. So there's not too much traffic anymore between your rooms in the house, to get to whatever laptop it is you have to get. So, no, it's busy adjusting, but it's also been a good time. Also been a good time to be able to figure out how to innovate and keep our ears to the ground, basically. That's all about.
Thank you very much, Miss Monica. Okay, I guess it's unanimous for a majority of, for the three of you, this was not the time to slow down. This was not an opportunity to take it easy and to introspect and to reflect on oneself, because you weren't given a chance to do that. It was all about adapting right away and pivoting. Now, this year really brought a lot of change in our lives. The real estate industry is not spared, just like Sir David mentioned. It has been one of the hardest hit during the pandemic, but this is a resilient industry, and AboitizLand has been quick to adapt to the changing times. We know the market is going to recover sooner than later. We see it gradually starting to pick up. Still, as Kenneth has presented, there are shifts and pivots in consumer behavior and priority. So we want to know from your respective points of view, what has the past months taught the real estate industry? Kenneth, can we start with you first?
Yeah, I think there's been a number of interesting trends that have happened over the last few months. We mentioned before millennial buying being one of the major trends. I think most relevant to what we do is people have accepted the use of technology as part of the process for buying or selling a property. So access to data, transparency has been sort of what our foundation as a company. We want to give people the most information to make the best decision possible. So promoting that transparency, building trust, working with partners like AboitizLand, who also embody those same values that we do, I think are some major trends that we've seen. So I think overall the buyers are becoming more sophisticated, but at the same time they're realizing that real estate is essentially a necessity these days and something that's never going to go away. So throughout this pandemic, it's maybe shifted some mindset that it might be the best investment to make, moving forward. If you're looking for something that's somewhat risk-free, but at the same time has high earning potential. So I think we've had some really interesting trends along those lines.
Well, if you think about it, if there's one thing you should be investing on, it's the one thing that is not going to go away, and that's Earth. Yeah. Sir David, what would you like to add to that?
Well, I would say, Jolly, that I guess one thing has changed. It's really the buyer. The buyer has changed drastically because of this pandemic experience. He has changed in terms of, as Ken has mentioned, in terms of their preferences. Mm-hmm. Whereas before, majority of them basically were looking at resident places to live near the CBD or, in these high density areas where they're near work or they're near MRT. We're seeing that change because of because of work from home, because of the need for safety and then social distancing and so forth. We're also seeing changes in how you reach these buyers.
Hmm.
Before, you put up a booth in the mall, you leaflet, they get the
True.
information about it from the leaflet or these big billboards along SLEX or NLEX. That's not as effective anymore,
True.
right? So because they're all locked at home,
Yes.
right?
Nobody's on the road.
Right. So you have to reach them and communicate with them online, right?
Hmm.
And also, of course, how they want to transact business. I mean, we gotta sell, right?
Yes.
We gotta sell. We've got quotas. We've got the brokers have to make a commission, so they've got to close the sale.
Yes.
Right? So again, that has changed. I mean, can't meet face to face, can't bring them to the site. So again, that has changed, no? And I think finally, also the capability of the buyers, because a lot of them have been financially they've been affected.
Yes.
Right. So I think you have to also adjust to that. Their capability, their capacity to pay the down payment, the amortization. So the buyers really changed.
Sir David, it is true. Nobody's on the road, nobody is at the mall, so we have to go where the buyers are, and they are online. All of them. It's true. And since they're not spending as much as they used to on those things that they now see as it has been unnecessary, it's been useless, where are they now going to make use of this money? They might as well invest it in something that is stable. Sir Dave, since we still have you on the spotlight, what has been AboitizLand's experience navigating the community quarantines and the economic impact of the pandemic?
Well, of course, just like other developers, there was a readjustment period,
Okay.
particularly during the first 2 months. But fortunately, I think we sort of had the head start, because even before this pandemic, we were already starting to invest in this kind of platforms and this kind of digital selling. So, when it happened, of course, the learning curve wasn't as steep. But
Okay.
nevertheless, it was adjustment for the brokers, for the buyers. So there was a readjustment. So I would say the first 2 months of the pandemic, sales were really struggling.
Okay.
But after that, we saw a very steady improvement in sales.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, over the last 2 to 3 months, our sales in AboitizLand has already surpassed our sales that we were generating pre-COVID,
Wow.
and it's continuing to improve. And I attribute that to the fact that, number one, those trends that Kenneth mentioned about towards more non-CBD locations, I think that's true. We're really seeing it. And number two is that we had invested in the right digital tools, the right forms to sort of help us, weather the storm, so to speak.
Well, bravo to AboitizLand. Bravo to all of you for having the foresight to have ready the tools that you will be needing. And considering that the first 2 months, like you said, it was pretty slow. That's probably because people were still in shock with what's happening and thinking, okay, this will be over in 2 months. But then 2 months in, and nothing is happening. And this looks like a state we're going to be in for quite a while. It is time to pivot. Miss Monica, how has digitization made a difference in your business this year, since Sir David already started talking about it?
Huge difference, Jelly.
Okay.
As Dave said, no, we got pretty much a head start, but digitization, I think, has not only allowed us to keep up with how our business needs to operate in this new normal, but it's also been an absolute game changer for us in 2020. Coming into this year, AboitizLand had already had a number of digitization measures lined up. We had a startup team formed that would be dedicated to selling digitally, and then no sooner than we had executed the initial action plans, the world just changed overnight. Right. And so right, it was either we pivoted and we went full swing with selling digitally, or absolutely forget about getting anywhere near our targets for the year.
Okay.
And so, quick decision, of course, was that we need to go all in. And doing that in terms of how we sell, the platforms we use, the documents we use, how we accept payments, things like that, little things like that, right? It's tipped the scales in our favor tremendously this year. And we have our digital tours that we have to speak of, right? Apart from the platforms, there's a lot of content. Here you go, right? This is one of it. So, and also already being in, or collaborating with Lamudi early on. We had a head start in terms of selling using this platform, and we maximize engagement through the site, and of course the rest of AboitizLand sites and pages. And we also increased our content during the ECQ period, and we used this time where everybody was still skeptical and a little bit scared, to plant the seeds, and which, as Dave mentioned, in the second half of the year has borne fruit, and it's allowed us to hit upwards of 75% of our original targets for the year, and even better than 2019 year-to-date targets, despite the pandemic limitations. I also have to say, we are partners with Lamudi, and one of the things that we have been able to benefit from having this partnership is our engagement in how we sell with our brokers, or how we engage our brokers and our sellers. It's quicker, it's more efficient, and it's a lot bolder, I think. Reaching them from this platform. And of course, Lamudi Sales Academy has helped us with our digital training, and work with our sellers to make them better at using the platform and transforming themselves, of course, as the market transforms every single day. So yeah, it's been a game changer for us, Jelly.
Thank you very much, Miss Monica. Earlier during Kenneth's presentation, I was very impressed when he was talking about the Lamudi Sales Academy, and how he said a lot of the people who are subscribed to it use the metaports and the virtual walkthroughs, because I could just imagine, in the past, for you to actually sell a property, you need to bring the person and see everything. They have to literally walk through face to face. But with that, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just watch it from a camera, and it's like you're actually there. So that is absolutely awesome, and it's a good thing that Lamudi already has that in place. I'd like to open this question up for everyone again, but we'll start with David. We're going to talk about the trends that Kenneth presented earlier. How has AboitizLand either corroborate, did you elaborate or challenge, or maybe even relate to the trends and adjust it to the AboitizLand properties? Sir David?
Yeah. Well, I think we've had these developments that in Central Luzon, which are house and lot developments, as well as in South Luzon, as well as in Cebu. I think the trends that were mentioned by Ken in his presentation, based on our sales performance, based on our sales take-up, it confirms the trend. We have seen an uptick in our sales take-up of house and lots. Remember, our projects, for example, in North Luzon, in Central Luzon, they're in Batangas and in Central Luzon, these are really the growth areas of the Philippines. I mean, they're really, even before this pandemic, there was already a trend towards decongesting.
Yes.
But Metro Manila was just too congested.
True.
So there was already a trend towards areas that were away from Metro Manila but still accessible. And I think this pandemic, accelerated it.
Yes.
Right? And the reason why it's going towards the Central Luzon and the South Luzon areas is because, fortunately, government has invested as well in the infrastructure to these places, in terms of the roads, in terms of the airports and all. So it was a natural evolution that the migration away from Metro Manila will be going towards Central Luzon, as well as in South Luzon, where you got Calabarzon. So, I guess we were, as they would say, we were in the right place at the right time with our projects in Central Luzon and South Luzon, and we've been lucky. It's worked. It's definitely worked in our favor.
Thank you for that. Miss Monica, would you like to add anything?
Yes, Jay, just to corroborate what Dave said, no. Yes, the trends that Ken showed actually, yes, they're evidenced through our actual sources of sales. As Dave said, there's such decongestion from Metro Manila going on, and we've seen that uptick in our Batangas properties, for example, the villages at Lipa. Since we launched early 2019, typical buyer there would be your local Batangueño buyers, probably from the fringes. But now more than 50% of our sales in the villages are coming from Metro Manila buyers. And people are considering, Metro Manila buyers are considering even properties up north, south. I've seen buyers from Pasay City, south of Metro Manila, buy all the way up to Pampanga. And, people are taking this opportunity, I think, to just probably relocate back to their roots when they don't need to be in the central business districts anymore. Yes. Right? And in Ken's presentation earlier, huge provincial house and lot sales. Right. And at the beginning of the pandemic, what we saw really was a rise in our lot only sales. Perhaps your investor market there got quick wind of what was going on with the discounts with the developers. But as the border restrictions started to lift, we saw that the house and lot sales, for us at least, grew equally stronger, or grew equally as strong as the lot sales, right? With the market now seeking homes in urban fringes, as we call it, because people are going where they want to be now versus where they need to be. You can basically do everything from the confines of your home. So there's a more thoughtful process in terms of figuring out, where do I want to place myself? So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. And yes, second homes as well. It has become an option to make it a primary home. Right? Yes. We've also seen growth, definitely, in our second homes. Not just in Batangas, but as Kenneth mentioned earlier, huge growth in Cebu City. We have a second home also in Cebu City that's up in the mountains naman.
Wow.
So, yes. And so, good showing there for our second home. It's Foresa in Cebu City. So, yeah, we're seeing that. We've already exceeded our yearly target, in fact, for those properties. So, yeah.
Congratulations to all of you. That is amazing to hear. And, I think because of the situation of having to work from home, people have come to realize that we don't need to contend ourselves with a really tiny space where we are cramped just to be close to our workplace, just to be close to school. Because now with everyone working from home, you can literally be anywhere and still be able to work and go to school. And now everyone really wants space. And Kenneth presented earlier, even those who live or seek condos, they still require having a terrace, a balcony, some semblance of space. And I very much like what you said, Miss Monica. People are going where they want to be versus where they need to be. So now it's about being where you actually want to be. With months confined inside our homes, more and more people want to be outdoors in open spaces near nature. Choose, do you want to be by the beach? Is that the view that you want? Or just like Miss Monica said, up the mountains? It must be nice to work from a beach home or nicely tucked in a mountain town. That is actually possible now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have our beach community in Batangas called Seafront Residences. And as I mentioned earlier, here you go, Seafront Residences. Typical beachside community, you'd have your lots only that are being purchased. But here in Seafront, we thought we want a built-up community right away. So we're offering built-up homes. You can purchase a home here and condominium unit included, right? And so, we are seeing an influx of buyers, just people making it top of mind. Like I said, primary home. And I think Dave has a phrase that he coined, right, Dave? It's no longer work from home. What is it? It's work.
We call it work from paradise.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So it's a little bit different way of thinking already, you know, and how the people are looking for properties that are highly amenitized, for example, is another thing, right? That Kenneth, you mentioned, right? If you're in a condo, you want to be able to have that balcony, that space, perhaps a pool, you know, just for you to get out for a little bit. But here, you know, in our properties, as you can see here, we have active pools. And for Resa, for example, as I mentioned, what is our biggest amenity there? Nature. You're up top in the mountains. Almost or more, yeah, almost half of that property we are going to conserve as open space. In Seafront, for example, yes, we have a lot of amenities too. Beautiful clubhouse, 900 square meter pool. But what's our best amenity? The beach, right? So, you know, again, it's a more thoughtful process. It's picking and choosing, really. How do I want to spend the rest of my time when the rest of my time means I'm pretty much at home?
Yes.
You know?
And you'll actually enjoy staying at home. Sir David, I love that. Why work from home when you can work from paradise? Would you like to add anything to what Miss Monica said?
Well, as I said, you know, the trends that Ken mentioned really resonates with AboitizLand, with our project. And you know, we're as I said, we were just at the right place at the right time. And we know these trends that are being mentioned, we believe is not going to go away. I think it's really going to be part of the whole psyche, the whole mentality, the preference of the market going forward, even after the vaccine has, even if everyone has already been vaccinated and this whole COVID has been eradicated. I don't think people are going to go back to the old ways of the traditional ways of this. It will be somehow something like this, right? Still, this yearning, this requirement for open space, for you know, for work from home. I think it's going to be a permanent state of things.
Okay. Similar to the effects of the pandemic is here to stay,
Yeah,
then those trends are more likely to stay as well. Kenneth, would you like to add anything to that, especially since it is your company that really looks at the trends and really picks the brains of the property seekers?
Yeah, I think like Dave said, that the trends aren't going anywhere. I think it's you know, to build on your point earlier, it's a new normal. I think over the last few years, we've all been somewhat obsessed about following POGOs, BPOs. They're basically irrelevant at this point, and investment now is people like us, you know, people who want a second home, people who want to be closer to the beaches. That's the trend you got to follow now, and I think it kind of positions Aboitiz very well, that they've already been you know, quite established in those locations and those opportunities. I think that just from my report quickly, the most relevant one is that 70% of the people want to buy in the provinces. It's a huge number of investment opportunity. So if you already have a property, you know, very easy to sell. Most people are looking to buy there. If you're looking to buy, then it's perfect now because there's lots of supply becoming available. Banks have very low interest rates. The payment terms that they discussed are very attractive. So they're making it very easy now to follow those trends. So I think that overall, you know, we've got to change the way we think. We've got to pivot our investment strategy if we've had one set over the last few years, and to be relevant, you know, I think you've got to look at what's happening today, and reevaluate who the investors are or who the target market is. It's like people like us, you know, who are looking for, you know, a better place to live and work.
It seems like now is the best time to invest because you are actually investing in something that you really see the products of your hard work. You're living in it. I'd like to address this next question specifically for Ms. Monica, as affordability is the most important factor for property seekers, especially in the mid-market segment. How are you adjusting to reach more and more of these prospective buyers?
Okay, good question, Jelly. Yes, you're right. price, apart from location, of course, will always be a primary consideration when purchasing a property, most especially for the mid-market. And these days, most especially, people are cautious about how they spend their money. So lighter and less riskier payment terms are key and have become prevalent, all over. And AboitizLand is no different from pretty much most of the developers, I'm certain, these days. Even before the pandemic, though, we had already lowered barriers to entry into home ownership, particularly for our mid-market projects. And now that buyers have been more conscious about how they invest their money, how much outlay they have on a monthly basis, we've made sure to provide more options in terms of those lighter payments, longer terms, lower equity or down payment requirements are available in partnership with banks, promotional partnership with banks. We have seasonal promos also, so I urge everybody to look out for those things. Like I said, we have longer terms, creative schemes that allow for milestone payments, payment holiday in between, milestone payments as you go along, if you know when your money's coming in, pretty much coming into some money there. But basically just a more comfortable path towards adding up to your assets or finally buying your dream home. As I said, we've been updating our discounts quarterly, at least. So combining all of this, right? The promos, the discounts, the longer payment scheme, the lower equity needed in partnership with the banks, plus the lower bank rates, I think. There's never been a better time to buy a home or diversify your portfolio at a lower risk, I think, and perhaps increase your income stream possibilities. In our villages at Lipa, for example, we have lots that are available for as low as 7,400 pesos monthly.
Wow.
Right? Ahoya, Cabanatuan, our northern Luzon properties there. We have lot only units there for as low as 8,800 pesos monthly. Seafront residences, right? Beautiful property there. We have lots also starting at, here we go, 15,000 pesos monthly. And we have discounts of up to 5.2 million available for properties in Cebu, like Prevea Hills. These are also lot only units here in Prevea Hills in Cebu. So there's a lot in terms of what AboitizLand at least has to offer, this year up to the close of the year. And of course, we're updating that as we go along every time.
Thank you very much for that. Jump on it, everyone who's locked in right now. And I hope that you've liked the page, because probably all of these promos, discounts, and major announcements will be on this Facebook page. Sir David, would you like to add anything to what Miss Monica said?
Well, I guess the message I'd like to communicate to the audience is the real estate market. The real estate is a very resilient industry. I'm very optimistic that 2021 there will be a very strong rebound in the property market. Very strong rebound, and for all of those buyers out there who are maybe still holding back, as investors or as home buyers, because they're perhaps still uncertain about what will happen next year and the year after. I think that you have to be ready to jump back in to the market starting next year. As I said, whether you're an end user or an investor, because it can only get better. The vaccine is coming over. Yes. The market has been really depressed. I think there are a lot of very good deals. Monica just mentioned some of them. There are a lot of very good deals. So I think you guys should really start thinking about getting back to the market as a broker, whether you're a buyer. It's going to be very exciting next year and the year after.
Thank you very much, Sir David. You already got a great tip right there. You should be ready to jump right back in, okay, come 2021. So he's allowing you a few more months to equip yourself and then jump right back in. And if there's anyone, any of our viewers with questions regarding our promos, please feel free to join us in the Zoom rooms, okay? So just let us know that you're interested and we'll send over the link. I'd like to ask this question to Kenneth. What is Lamudi's outlook for the Philippine real estate market in 2021? Since David already started talking about the next year, what should developers and property seekers alike watch out for?
Yeah, I think that for 2021, it'll still stay consistent that real estate is one of the most resilient markets to be a part of. I think if you can align your investment with the trends, so we mentioned a few before, but just to highlight them, investments with amenities available, with green space, horizontal in the provinces, or places with more space available. It seems to be a trend, something that will resonate well with millennial buyers who are starting families, are good investments. So all these trends, I think, will stay consistent from now into 2021. As Monica and Dave both mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities from developers to make it possible. The saying of the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago. The best time to buy real estate was, last year. There's no better time to buy than now. If people are waiting for a sign, this is really it. So there's really, not much more the market can shift. And, I don't think you're going to get any more drops in the market. They've already made everything very, very attractive, and there's a lot of opportunity. If you follow the trends, I think it's, we're at that shift now where there's a lot of buying potential. There's no more talks of overpricing, bubbles, things like that. It's now about opportunity. Where's the best opportunity for yourself and to place yourself in the future. So just pick the popular trends. I think that it'll stay very, very consistent all the way through 2021. I don't think that the POGO market is going to come back anytime soon. I think that, the trends are really residential at this point. Or if you're looking for something industrial or something commercially, it's going to be catering to the residential market. So sort of like a warehouse spacing for logistics or fringe locations. But I would stay safe and invest in residential because that's basically, there's no more office, there's no more commercial spaces anymore. Everything is now your home. That's the commercial space. So I think that's a relevant trend for 2021 as well.
Thank you very much. Great insights right there. It's like you've filled. We now have all the arsenal that we need, so we can fully decide on the future. We can decide on the investments we want to make. If we wish to diversify our portfolio, we know what we are looking at. We know what we're supposed to get. Thank you very much, Kenneth, David, and Monica, for that very enlightening discussion. But before I let you go, do you have any parting words for our viewers? David, can you go first?
Well, again, I'm just going to reiterate that the real estate is going to rebound very strongly. And, if you've been thinking about it, don't hesitate. Be confident that 2021 going forward will be a good year. You can never go wrong with real estate. Go for it.
Go for it. I love that. That's very encouraging. It's like we're already at the bottom. There's no other way to go but up.
That's right.
What about for the lady in the middle, Miss Monica?
Here you go. Yeah, thanks, Jelly. We've been talking about so many changes that have gone on this year. Our world's just done a 180 on us. And, naturally, you might be a little bit cautious about parting with your money, how you manage your finances, but especially with the real estate purchase being a large consideration, it might not always be naturally a top of mind. But I think, investing in real estate is still the best and safest investment strategy because, no market is safe from collapse, right? But with real estate, you will always have something physical there with you. So to the buyers, the younger buyers, most especially, as you said, the first time home buyers, make yourselves aware of what's out there. The digital space needs to be your best friend. It's the way to go these days. Sites like Lamudi will have a wealth of options for you to explore. It will be able to give you the best opportunities in terms of investing, diversifying your portfolio, perhaps with a second home. Maybe even possibly increasing future income stream possibilities. Or again, for first-time home buyers, take this chance to get out of your city rental today, right? And finally buy that property to settle in outside of your CBDs. So much here. And for sellers, I hope some sellers are watching us today. Sellers, my message to you is to adapt. The limitations of contact and travel that we have today are only as far as your laptop and your Wi-Fi can take you, right? The buyers' needs are shifting and expanding, and provincial home buying is growing. There's an abundance of opportunity out there as well for everybody. Thanks, Jelly.
Thank you, Miss Monica. And finally, Kenneth, can we have your parting words, please?
I just wanted to thank Aboitis for having me today. Thank you, Dave and Monica, and of course, Jelly. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully, after all this, some of the audience out there is a little bit more informed than they were coming before this. So, data and transparency is kind of the foundation of Lamudi. We want to give as much information to the buyers and sellers as possible before they make that, life-changing decision. So, with that, I hope that everyone takes the advice and uses the data available to their advantage. And good luck. And pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. Again, thank you, David, Monica, and Kenneth. A virtual round of applause, please, for the members of our panel. Absolutely amazing. There you have it. Different pieces of advice from David, Monica, and Kenneth, but it's unanimous. You need to go digital. You need to be where people are, and that is online. If you haven't pivoted to technology yet, it is about time that you do. And they've already equipped you with all the information, the statistics, the trends. You can get in touch with Lamudi for that. You've got AboitizLand having all of these wonderful promos and discounts. They're making it all possible. And we should all know by now that the greatest and the best investment on earth is truly earth. It is the only thing that is resilient. It's the only thing that is stable. Again, thank you very much to our panelists. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
2020 started out as a very hopeful year for AboitizLand. But in March, COVID-19 has turned into a global pandemic that has claimed numerous lives, leaving Filipinos in fear of contracting the illness. The government imposed extreme community quarantine, first in Metro Manila and then Cebu, and social distancing became the new norm. Numerous industries that relied on face-to-face interactions to engage its customers were badly disrupted. The real estate industry was no different.
I felt a bit worried. Number one, there's no face-to-face interaction. Number two, there's no site trippings.
So it affects the selling process in terms of presentation, especially the traditional buyers, because they want the actual presentation of the project.
For a business that relied heavily on traditional means of reaching the customer, such as face-to-face selling or actual site visits, we were severely disrupted. But we had to take stock of the resources that we had at hand to make sure that we meet the customer's needs. And they needed two things. First, to be safe. Second, to have a good home to serve as a sanctuary for themselves and their loved ones during the pandemic.
After a week of staying indoors, people had a renewed appreciation for a good home. Capitalizing on the urgent need for a good home as a dependable sanctuary, AboitizLand launched the Better at Home campaign.
We launched the Better at Home campaign only 2 weeks after BCQ started, and what we did was we provided a way for our customers to fulfill the urgent need of a good home while keeping them safe and protected through our contactless home buying service.
It was the first in its industry to work around the COVID-19 setback by offering end-to-end digital home-based buying to those who want to accelerate the property buying process in the safety of their own homes.
Better at Home started out as an external campaign for our customers, but it proved to be an equally effective internal campaign for our very own employees. It was extremely helpful in bringing our employees together, despite being physically distant, giving us a sense of connectedness, albeit virtually.
In the midst of this pandemic, our sales team has been able to bring our sites and the whole buying experience to our vecinos without having to leave the safety of their homes. Our contactless home buying initiatives have brought us over 4,000 digital leads that have a good percentage been converted in the last quarter.
AboitizLand has been quite fortunate because very early on, even without anticipating this pandemic, we had invested in the tools to do digital selling.
In July of 2020, it achieved its highest reservation sales in a year despite the restrictions of the pandemic, proving that with the time-tested Aboitiz values of innovation, responsibility, integrity, and teamwork, AboitizLand continues to be resilient in the face of challenges, advancing business and communities, and creating better ways to live for Filipinos.
Price, location, amenities remain to be key considerations in property investing, but with shifts in interests and behavior, we see many trends rising, like the need for bigger indoor and outdoor spaces, work from home ready houses and communities at the fringes in the metro. Really valuable information that we have shared with you today. I learned so much. My notebook is full. See, this is all from today. How about you? We want to know. Please send in your comments. Let us know your biggest takeaways from the presentations, the lessons that you've learned, what it is you would like to share. I hope our forum helped you one way or another. Thank you very much to AboitizLand and Lamudi for coming up with such a relevant episode today. You know, during these trying times, a little help goes a long way. So extend the help to your friends too. Share this broadcast to anyone that you know who might find this broadcast valuable. It is available right here in AboitizLand's official Facebook page. You will find it in the videos tab along with past webcast episodes. If it's your first time to come across AboitizLand Webcasts, so you can binge on the previous episodes because we presented, those trends, and then this time around we have the hard facts to back it up. So you can just binge on all of those episodes. They're all on the AboitizLand Facebook page. To know more about properties that we have shown earlier, you may visit the private Zoom room. The link is pinned in the comments section. Have you seen it? All right. Good. Just click the link and you will be directed to a private Zoom room with our property specialists. And that brings us to a close. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Tune in to this page for more episodes just like this one. Thank you very much for having me. An absolute pleasure and honor being with all of you this afternoon. My name is Jelly Victor. Have a wonderful day.
For all you dreamers, fortune seekers, travelers, and adventurers. For all of you who search for better opportunities, who chase a brighter future in distant lands to provide for your family's needs. For all of you who dream of retiring in comfort in your home country, of having your own place in the sun, of giving your family the good life they deserve. For all our overseas Filipino workers, fulfill your dreams now with AboitizLand. We are a part of the Aboitiz Group, one of the country's strongest corporations. For over 2 decades, AboitizLand has nurtured the dreams of thousands of overseas Filipinos. With our more than 25 thriving, masterfully designed communities, from Cebu to Nueva Ecija, from the hills to the beaches, from townhomes to vacation homes, from dreams to reality. We at AboitizLand bring your dreams to life with homes and communities made for life. For all you who travel the world in search of your dreams, find them all right here, right now. Here at AboitizLand.